You probably have a favorite album, that desert island record you just can't imagine life without, the one tied to life-defining moments, that collection of songs that inspired you, the music that changed you. These are the stories of those albums. These are revolutions.
1991 was a pivotal year for rock and roll, thanks in no small part to the release of Pearl Jam's Uncompromising 10. With a demo cassette as their introduction, San Diego-based Eddie Vedder flew to Seattle in October of 1990 to jam with his future bandmates for the first time. The in-person musical chemistry was undeniable. Bassist Jeff Ament, guitarists Stone Gossard and Mike McCready, and drummer Dave Crewson created the bulk of what would evolve into 10 during these initial meetings. Inside Seattle's famed London Bridge studio, producer Rick Parashar captured Pearl Jam's frenzied creative spontaneity. It took a month to shape the raw energy and unbridled sounds into a deliberately unpredictable album. The boogie blues single Even Flow was played dozens of times. Other tunes reflected the ferocious kinetic energy of a first take. Release, the sprawling 6-minute ballad, arose out of a loose jam session, while the feverish Porch reflected the band's affinity for punk rock music. Once and Why Go boast elastic funk rock grooves, while the blazing psychedelic guitar swerves of Deep recall those favored by fellow Seattleite Jimi Hendrix. The record had deep reverence for artistic giants like Stevie Ray Vaughan, The Who, and Led Zeppelin, but it also harnessed modern culture's restless energy and anxiety. In Alive, Eddie Vedder reveals his surprise when he discovered his stepdad wasn't his biological father, and the latter man had died while he was a teen. The specter of the father that wasn't follows him on release, where he worked out his sorrow by addressing the absent figure. Vocally, Vedder didn't suppress this roller coaster of emotions. His teeth-gnashing growls and throat-searing yowls on Once, agonizing wails on Garden, and somber and meditative delicacy during Black brought listeners into the most intimate spaces of each song.
We belong together.
When 10 arrived, it received little fanfare outside of Seattle, and it was dwarfed by the immediate success of another 1991 album, Nirvana's Nevermind. However, Pearl Jam hit the road following its release, opening for Red Hot Chili Peppers and appearing on stage at Lollapalooza in 1992. Their fan base grew quickly thanks to these live performances. In concert, Pearl Jam fired on all cylinders, and Vedder transformed into a magnetic frontman and onstage daredevil. During shows, he would scale impossibly high lighting rigs and stage scaffolds like a rock and roll Spider-Man, and trust that the crowd below would catch him when he fell. 10 tapped into the generational malaise and apprehension that had boiled over into the angst-ridden grunge movement. Pearl Jam went on to sell millions of records and shape the sound of rock and roll in the 90s and beyond.